Dope ass dude podcast. Transparent conversation. Real life stories. Hustling, grind, transparent conversation. Real life stories. Hustling, grind.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, the dope ass dude, and I am so happy to be with you on tonight. It is Monday night, and I am really excited to be here with you guys on tonight. So you guys already know the preliminary things. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you don't mind going ahead subscribing to the YouTube channel, and while you're there, click on notification so that you can be notified each and every time a new podcast is uploaded to the site, as well as click on like so that this can be shared with others just like you. So if you don't mind going ahead subscribing to the YouTube channel, clicking on notification, and clicking on like so it can be shared with others just like you, I greatly appreciate it. Now, if you're unable to catch the podcast on Monday nights, you can always catch it on the go. You can catch it at Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Again, that's Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And then you can watch the podcast live each Monday night on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. Again, that's Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube each Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And let's go ahead and get the my preliminary information. You can follow me on both Instagram and TikTok at the Dope Ass Dude Podcast. Again, that is the Dope Ass Dude Podcast on both Instagram and TikTok. So tonight I was supposed to have my guest, Thomas Jackson, and unfortunately, he had a death in his family. He is unable to be with us on tonight. So it's just going to be family. It's just going to be me and you tonight. And I'm really excited about being here. And I know that we have a great show tonight. The show that's going to be going on tonight is the show that I was actually going to film in 2 weeks, leading up to my birthday, July 18th. Cancer, we are the best ever. But because Thomas is unable to be here, we're going to schedule him for the 13th. And we definitely want to send up prayers for him and his family during this time of loss. And I think many of us have been in this space before. But so Thomas, all prayers going up for you and your family, man. So tonight we're going to be talking about no permission needed. Again, that's no permission needed. I'm getting tongue twist here for whatever reason, but no permission needed. And here recently, I am actually, like I said, my birthday is getting ready to come up, and I am getting ready because this is year 54 for me. So I'm leaving early 50s, from 50 to 53 is early 50s, and then 54 to 56 is mid 50s, and then 57 on up is late 50s. So this is my last year in early 50s, actually. And I'm really excited about the podcast tonight because I am just going to be sharing with you guys a little bit of my journey. And maybe or not, maybe some of you may remember, depending on how old you are, growing up, there was a game that we used to play. And you may remember it was called Mother May I. And sometimes it was a guy that would do it. And so it would be Father May I. And the game was a game that you played, and the person who is acting as the mother, the game, or the father as the game, their backs are to you. And you'll just say like, hey, mother, may I take a couple of steps? And the person will respond back yes or no, you may not. And if they responded back with no, they would always say no, you may not, but you can. They would give you that option. And so growing up for me, I am a preacher's kid. I grew up in church. I've been in church my entire life, since birth. I started playing at churches at the age of 16, Believers Temple, non-denominational church. That was the first church that I ever played for. And ever since, I've been in church. And in church, being a preacher's kid, a pastor's kid, we felt, and I guess maybe the expectation was there for us to live at a certain standard. And the expectation probably was a little bit greater than it would be on anyone else or just a regular kid whose father wasn't a pastor. So there was this level of expectation that we had to do. And sometimes it was hard kind of measuring up to that, because you're kind of measuring up to what your parents or what society would consider as perfect. So growing up, it's like we had to always ask, like, can I? Is it okay if I? We always had to ask for permission, just like the game Mother May I, and my parents, they would decide yes or no, whether or not we can do it. So that type of upbringing, I'll say for me, I think it trickled over into my adult life. I'll say that I think I carried some of that over into my adult life, because it seems as though I was constantly still trying to get permission to do things in my life. I never forget when I was in my 30s, I was ministering music at a church, and I'll never forget, I didn't even feel comfortable going out and like hanging out with my friends, and maybe they're having drinks or maybe I wanted a drink. I didn't feel comfortable with that because I felt that level of expectation there that prevented me from living the life that I wanted to live as a 28, 29, 30-year-old individual. So there were so many things in my life that I found myself afraid of letting first God down based off my teachings and knowledge of what God requires of us. I was afraid that I was going to let him down in so many ways. So I was constantly battling. And I guess if you're in church, they're going to say, oh, you battling the enemy. He's trying to get you to do wrong, and he's trying to get you to do this. And I was constantly just battling. Now that I know it, I was just battling a kid, because at that time I was a kid. I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I'm just trying to live my life, and I get it. There is a calling on my life, and God has something that he wanted me to do. But now that I'm a little bit older and I look back in retrospect, I see that a lot of the measures that I took to prevent things, I probably could have gone ahead and did it, because it really wasn't a big deal. But because of my upbringing, I was so afraid of letting my parents down, disappointing God. So for the better part of my younger years, it was just a constant battle going on inside. So I had to get to a place and outgrow that. And it still wasn't in my 30s when I reached that place. It wasn't in my 30s. And I'll never forget, in my 30s, I think I was 31 at this time, and there was something that happened at a church. And when it happened at the church, I was extremely embarrassed by it. I was extremely embarrassed by it. I never forget it. I was 30, 31, and it was I turned in my resignation at a church, and they decided to make it effective sooner than what I did. And then there was all of these rumors and all of this, back talk about what people were saying. Well, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And anybody who knows me know that I'm somewhat of a private guy. So for all of this to be going on, and it to be going on in my life, I mean, it was very traumatic for me. And I never forget, like, I kind of like pulled back because I was heavily active in the music community. And I pulled back from those things because I was afraid that everybody was talking about it behind my back. And when I look at maybe from age 30 to 38, I wasn't fully 100% me. I suppressed that because, again, in my head, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about it. And then I remember there was a time that I had an event, well, not an event, I had like a little gathering here in my home. And I was talking to, her name is Ollie, and I was talking with her about, I can't remember what we were talking about, but I said, people don't do that. That's not what people do, and all of that. And in that moment, she said to me, your world is small. And at that time, I didn't get it. But pretty much what she was saying is because I was surrounded by people who thought like me, who did the same things that I did, I limited the entire world. I limited the entire world and what everyone else was doing around me. And my world in that moment and at that time, it was small. And when I looked at it and I went back and I go back and I look in retrospect, I realized I lived in a bubble. And if you remember just a second ago, I was sharing about how when that incident happened at the church, I was all like worried and felt a sense of shame. And then once I came out of being so heavily involved in the church and the gospel music community, I realized nobody even knew me. Nobody knew me because I was living in a bubble. And for 7, 8 years, I'm walking around suppressing who I am because I felt a sense of shame and I felt embarrassed. And I was so concerned that people were talking about me. But when I got out, and it was so funny, maybe I should have asked my coworkers at that time, did they know anything? Because, like, outside of church, that small bubble that I had placed myself in and that I had made my world, nobody knew me. Nobody knew nothing. And I think that's what we do as people a lot. We have created this world that we live in, the people we know live in, and outside of those people, that has become our world. So when something good happens, we feel great because those people in that little bubble are celebrating us. And then when something bad happens, we feel a great sense of shame because everybody in our bubble knows about it. But in the world, nobody knows you. So nobody knows, nobody knows what maybe have transpired in your life. And like I said, you're walking around living in bondage because everybody around you know about what has happened. And that could be your marriage ended in divorce. It could be you got fired from a job. It could be, you know, you lost your car, you got your car repoed and all of this. And it just seems like everybody knows about it. But on the grand scheme of things, nobody know about it. Your coworkers don't know about it. The people you see in the gym, they don't know about it. Only you and the people around you. And where am I going with that? I am just saying to you, if you're watching this tonight and something has happened in your life and it's keeping you from moving forward and doing bigger things in life because you are afraid that no one is going to listen to me or no one is going to buy this because this has happened and no one is going to support me. I'm going to tell you your world is small and you are living in a bubble. And I guarantee you, if you step out of the bubble that you're living in, there's somebody waiting for what you have to offer. There's some man or some woman that wants to fall in love with you because they don't know your past. They only know what you're going to give them in the present. And like I said, it could be anything that you are holding back and you are not moving 100% authentically in who you are and sharing the greatness of who you are with the world. You are living in a bubble and your world is small. So I hope you find the strength and become brave enough, because I think that's a question. Sometimes it just seems so big and we don't know how to get out of it, and we don't know how to reprogram our thinking so that we can go and live our best life. And we're going to get to that a little bit later in the podcast. So today I was scrolling on Facebook, and when I was scrolling on Facebook, I came across a um, interview with Travis Green. And Travis Green was saying, he was talking about the first time he ever met Kirk Franklin. And he said, Kirk said to him, "Hey, I'm glad to meet you, blah, 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 blah." And then Kirk also said, "Travel light." And he said he didn't understand what travel light meant. He said in that moment he didn't understand, but as time passed, he was able to figure out exactly what Kirk meant about travel light. And what he meant by that is only take what you need on your trip. And that could be only take the people that are supposed to travel into this new season of your life. And that's what Travis said. He ended up realizing that he had been holding on to people and he had been holding on to things and he was taking everybody with him. He was trying to take everybody with him. And as he's taking everybody with him, some of these things that he's trying to take with him, they were weighing him down. And they were meant for him to leave them in the previous season, not to go on to the next trip. And I tell you that it's like, I think, and I've been guilty of that as well. I am a hoarder of people. I hoard people because I am loyal, because I love hard, and I hold on to people. And I'm holding on to people, and not only am I doing a disservice to myself, I'm doing a disservice to them as well. Because now that I've realized that you're supposed to let people serve their season, and once their season is up, you free them and you free yourself. What I realized is that as long as I was holding on to those people that I should have let go, I was preventing the new people who were supposed to come into my life for that season, because I wasn't open to meeting new people, because I had my circle, I had my friends and my tribe. And I just tell you, some of you, you're holding on to people that you should have let go a long time ago. And maybe you've known them 25 years, but the two of you have served your purpose in each other's life. You served your purpose in their life. They've served their purpose in your life. And it is time for you to free them. And once you free them, you're freeing yourself. And I think that it's sad to think about, but it's really a beautiful thing, because you are creating space for new things. You're creating space for new people and new experiences when you allow yourself to free up and release those who are not supposed to travel into your next season with you. So when you're going from season to season, sometimes you just may go in with your toiletries and maybe no clothes. You'll get clothes once you get to your destination, but you have to be open to release what needs to be left behind and be open to what is ahead of you. So, when I saw that interview, I thought of myself, because like I said, I'm a hoarder of people, and I hoard people. I hold on to them, and because I've known them for 30 years, but neither of us are serving a purpose in each other's life. And it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It doesn't mean that we can't hang out and have fun from time to time. but maybe they're not that the people that are in the inner circle that are supposed to pour into me what I need at this present moment. So then the next thing we're going to move on to is your life as it is. And this is something that I think a lot of us deal with as well. We look at our lives and there are a lot of bad things that have happened in our life. And when we look at those bad things, we just feel we equate our entire life to that. But one thing that I've found useful for me at this phase of my life is to taking finding the bad, well, finding the good in the bad. So taking the bad and making it good. And that incident that I told you guys about the church and everything, I tell you, there's not, I'm not going to say a day, but I have thought like I owe them a thank you. I owe them a thank you because in that moment at 31, it seemed like it was so embarrassing and it seemed like it was the end of the world. But so much good stuff has come from that moment that I thought was going to destroy me. And that moment was actually pointing me into my destiny. And I owe them so many thank yous. And that's why, when I see them, I can speak positive of that experience now because I have now seen the good in it. And I think we all quote that scripture, Romans 8:28. All things work for the good of them who love the Lord and called according to his purpose. That means the good, the bad, the ugly, everything is going to work out for your good. And you can't quote that scripture without believing that whatever you're going through in your life in this moment, that is not going to come and be something good in your future. And it could be a hurtful moment in your time, in your life, that maybe in a couple of years, you're going to be mentoring someone else. You will start an organization that helps millions of people deal with and come out of a traumatic situation that you experience. Of course, in real time, it hurts, but those things can be used for the good. And those are just a couple of little scenarios, but life as it is, where you are today is the foundation for where you are going to be tomorrow. So you take your life and you take the good, you take the bad, you build it as you lay it as a foundation for you to build and go higher in your future. And that's what I mean, life as it is. You have to find the good in it, turn the bad into good, and then use all of that to make your future better. And while you're doing that, you're going to be helping other people. You're going to feel a little bit more happier because those things that may have hurt you in the past, you can forgive and you can find the power of forgiveness and you can release those things. And like I said, use them to help someone else in the future or to help you. And that's why you just have to take your life as it is, the way that, God has allowed things to happen. Because again, all things work for the good of those who love the Lord and called according to his purpose. So you have to realize that no matter how rough, no matter how bad things are right now, it's going to turn around for your good. It's going to turn around for your good. And then one day you will see the reason why you had to go through what you went through. But you have to be open to seeing and finding the good in your situation. So, hey, life as it is, like I said, where you are today is the foundation of where you can be tomorrow. And I got this from my buddy Odell. We were talking today, and when you are living, when you have turned your life around and you are living on your own terms and doing the things that you want to do, not concerned about what other people are going to think, what other people are going to say. When you get to that place, you have to understand people are going to talk. People are going to talk. And one thing you cannot do, and I is this one artist I find she's too funny to me, but you don't read the comments. So your life is up for everybody to see. It's like a post on social media. People are going to have chatter. There's going to be good chatter, but then there's also going to be bad chatter, or what you may perceive as negative and bad. And people are always going to have something to say. But you live your life and don't worry about the noise. And I know it's like easy to say, but it's hard to do. But most people who are recognize you are living your life on your own terms, and they are the ones out here talking bad, and they're putting you down, and they're putting negative stuff out about you. Most of those people are upset because they are not brave like you are and stepping out and doing what you are doing. So you can't allow the noise to like deter you from living your best life. And another thing too you have to understand too is once you start living your best life, you can't allow everybody to bring everything to you, because if people are bringing to you negative stuff that other people are saying, they not they're not your people. They're not your people, because your people are going to see the authenticity of what you're doing. They're going to see the excitement in you, the joy in you, and how you are living your life on your own terms, free of what other people are saying. So they're not going to bring that stuff. Actually, they're shut it down when people are giving it to them. So don't you go and start looking and trying to defend or justify what you're doing and why you're doing it. You don't owe anyone anything. So do not feel the pressure to go and explain to people why you are doing what you're doing. You don't owe them that. And I think that goes back to, again, asking people for permission. When you go and you're searching and you are trying to dig deep into what's been said about you, you're giving power to their thoughts. But what about your thoughts? What about where you are in life and what makes you happy? You don't have to ask people for permission to live your life. No permission needed for you to be you. And I think, to be honest with you, I think that is one of the greatest compliments you could ever give God. I think that's one of the greatest compliments that you could ever give God, is to live the life that He has destined for you to live. And if you know in your heart that He's pleased with what you're doing, and you know that you are a reflection of Him and a reflection of the plan and the calling He has on your life, you can't worry about anyone else but Him. And I think that is, again, one of the greatest compliments you can give to God, and one of the greatest thanks you can give to Him. God, this is who you made me. This is the future and the plan that you have for my life. And I'm trusting the fact that this is where you have me in this phase of my life. And every time you see me, you see your plan in full effect. So don't allow people to like keep you from living your best life. And like I said, don't read the comments. Don't listen to the noise. And those people who are bringing you stuff, cut them off before they even get started real good. Because if they can plant a seed of doubt, you will resort back to being that person that is seeking approval of others. And that is one of the most dangerous places you could ever be in your life. And this last one, and you guys may have seen this post that I posted on Facebook. And I mean, so many people have called me on it. And well, I posted on all the social media, but so many people have called me about it, and they was like cracking up because it's the video that's titled "I'm Too Old," and it was something about people saying what you are too old to do in your life once you reach a certain age. And there's in the very beginning, I said, well, one thing I'm too old to do is give a fuck about what other people have to say about me. And that one little line has caused so many people to call me. And I mean, they were like congratulating me, but it was like a funny moment because they were so surprised that I put that out there. But to be honest with you, my pocket is empty. I have zero to give. I have no more of those to give to anybody's thoughts of me and what I am doing, and to bow down to their limited thinking of who I am. And I'll just say this here, like it's like every time I was placed in the box as John the musician, and that's what people knew me as, John the musician. But then I realized that music, really music and playing the instrument really is not even my gift, my true gift. That's a talent and everything. But my real gift is like administration. I can like organize, I can strategically plan, I can do all of those things. But then I also have other gifts like doing podcasts and just a lot of different things that I realize I can be all of those things at once. I don't have to allow people to just say, well, oh, Johnny, this is what you're supposed to be doing in life. No, God has made me multifaceted. I have multi gifts and multi talents that I can express myself in so many ways. And then also not just express myself, but express Him and the gifts that He has given me in multi ways, opposed to just being limited by people and saying, oh, well, you're supposed to be a songwriter. That's what we know you as. Or you're supposed to be a musician. That's what we know you as. That's what you know me as. But God knows me as much more. And I want to make Him happy. I want Him to smile every time He see me. So, I have zero to give. And what really triggered all of this was me reaching 50. And when I reached 50, I realized at that moment, I have more years behind me than I do ahead of me. I do. I have more years behind me than I do ahead of me. And I have a choice. Either you are going to make every day the best day of the rest of your life, or are you going to continue to live in this bubble filled with the thoughts and perception and requirements of other people? And I refuse to do that. I refuse to live my life in that bubble, in the box. We're not supposed to be in boxes. We're too big for boxes. And I can't allow anyone to place me in a box. So I am living the best day. Today is the best day of the rest of my life. And tomorrow is going to be the best day of the rest of my life. And so on and so on and so on. I am going to every day gonna get up and be thankful for life, for that moment, for that minute, for that second. And I'm gonna go out and I'm going to do something every day that makes me smile, that makes God smile, and something that continues to put a fingerprint on earth. So once my life does expire here on earth, I continue to live because I made a mark. And that's what I realize more now in my 50s than what I did in my 30s and my 40s and my 20s. And I wish I had someone to tell me that. Like, hey, John, every day should be the best day of the rest of your life. Because you never know when your life is going to end. I hear people in their 20s passing all the time, 30s, 40s, 50s. It's not just older people passing anymore. Is anybody can pass, and that's why you should live today like it is your last. And that sounds so cliche, but some of you want to do some pretty extraordinary things, or just some pretty adventurous things, or just be just goofy, but you're just so afraid of what other people are going to think and what other people are going to say. And if you don't listen, or you don't take anything else away from this podcast on tonight, I tell you today to start building from where you are, regardless of whatever accomplishments you may have in your past, whatever failures you may have in your past. Start today building and creating the life that you want to live. And every day, live it and make it the best day of the rest of your life. And guys, that is it. That's all I got for you on tonight. And, I just hope that something was said tonight, and that it inspires you to go out and live your life according to who and what you believe God has destined your life to be, and do the things that make you happy, and be brave. Be brave enough to be you. That's the thing. Be brave enough to be you. Some of us are afraid and fearful to be ourselves. And I think that is an injustice that you are doing to you. Be brave enough to be you. Whoever that is, whatever that looks like, be brave. And no, people are going to talk, but don't read the comments. Don't read the comments. Don't subscribe to the negativity that others may have. Let them talk. Let them talk. But while they're talking, you are doing you. And that's it. So next Monday, we will be back 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I have a guest. He is like freaking amazing. So he'll be here with us next week. And then Thomas will be with us the following week. So the next couple of weeks, we have like some heavy hitters. And I hope that you all are back with me on next Monday night. And that tonight, I hope that I said something that makes you want to wake up tomorrow morning and make tomorrow, or start right now in this very moment, do something to make today the best day of the rest of your life. All right, then. Peace.
Yeah. Real life stories and transparent conversations, hustle and grind, love and relationships, with all the tools for living your best life. It's the Dope Ass Dude Podcast. The Dope Ass Dude Podcast.